So through this, I want you to put one concept at the forefront of your mind. And I hope that by the end of this, you'll agree with my analogy. And that is, I believe we're entering a place where the value of the data in our databases, whether those are our ERP systems, whether those are our CRM systems, whether those are our EHR systems, our phone systems, whatever system you got. I believe that the value of the data in our systems has outgrown the value of the application that inputs the data. In other words, look at an ERP, look at all of the things that happen in manufacturing. There is tons and tons of data. There's inventories, there's rows, there's SKUs, there's order amounts. There's a lot of history as to who orders what, when, where, and what products, what different kinds of SKUs, how do they order it, when do they order, what's the seasonality to that order. There's a lot of data there, right? And in fact, there's so much data in there that what you figure out is that most companies are using about 5% of the data that's actually in those databases. And for those of you who are on the data side of this, I know we have data analysts here. I know that we've got some other people who are doing some Tableau kinds of things as well. This may sound familiar in concept, and probably to many of you, right? How many of us, by show of hands, how many of us have systems, whether it's our accounting system, our HRIS system, our production system, whatever system it is, how many of us have all the reports we've ever wanted to answer every question we need in those systems? What? No hand raises? See, this is the problem, right? So most companies today, this little circle kind of feels a lot like this. Hey, business owner says, do we know how many widgets we sold last month? And, what's the supply chain on that? Because I heard the cost of steel is going up. And so we really want to understand what's that impact of our business going to look like? Gosh, we don't have that report. I could probably have Joey put together, an Excel spreadsheet, and we could probably get close, but I don't know. But can you give us 2 weeks? Option 1. Option 2. This is a pretty cool thing. We want to do this more often. What I could do is I could go to the vendor. The vendor could write a report for me. They could charge me to do the thing, right? And it's going to cost me $3,000. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's not. And inevitably, it seems to end up with option 3. It's really not that important. We don't really have access to that data. I mean, I know I wish we did, but can we ballpark it? What do you think? Can we just get this thing on the runway? I mean, I think it's probably, it's probably in this range maybe. Does that sound familiar? Right? That's like all of us, right? Because the reality of it is today, the only way that you get data out of your systems is by having people write reports for those that don't exist. And so if I was to say to you, where is the most valuable place that AI is actually injecting value into people's businesses? It's when you leverage AI in a secure, I'll raise my hand on that, in a secure manner to be able to answer ad hoc questions, to answer things that we all have about our business, right? I'll give you another example. I was working with a customer that they make ball bearings, not the bearings, just the balls, right? But they ship 20,000 pounds of ball bearings a day. Everything from the plastic ones that they put in paint cans to things that go in medical devices to big ones that go on trailer wheels and all kinds of crazy ones, right? Some of them are like 2,000 pounds. These things are huge, right? But they have 200,000 SKUs in their warehouse, right? And the question that they were asking me was, hey, we get about 400, 500 orders a day. We've got all this stuff like everyone else, in our warehouse slotted into rows and bins so that we know how to pick these orders, right? But we have guys who are literally all over the warehouse picking, trying to find these SKUs and trying to, fulfill orders and ship them. Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be nice? We have the data. Wouldn't it be nice if we could reorganize our warehouse to put our faster moving products up front, our slower moving products in the back, and to be able to dynamically understand how to do that? And by the way, if we could do that, while I'm thinking about it, what would really be cool too? Is to be able to take all of our orders that come in every day, look at every item that we have in inventory, automatically allocate those orders to our inventory to be able to increase our profit margin so that we are shipping as many complete orders as we can. Today, they have 3 people that do that by hand, right? And so here's some really great examples as to why I'm saying to you, the value of the data in your database is probably worth more than the application that runs it.